Start it up. Testing, testing. Testing, 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 guys. What's up? Let me just turn down the music a little bit. Y'all can hear me. Testing 1, 2, 3. Is that the anime? What is it? Oh, this is that dark. Yeah, that's the one with all the blood and all the dark stuff in it. What was the name of it?
They won't tell me the name.
Oh, okay.
Wait, Made in the Abyss. That's what it's called.
Yeah, Made in the Abyss. That's the anime.
Right.
Yeah. Hello, folks online. What's up? I was trying to figure out what it was too. Yeah, it was like I remember that anime a long time ago. What's up? I'm actually here with I have one of my cousins over, coming and hang out. I see audio coming in. Oh, did you say something? Oh, no. Just trying to get the monitoring to work. There we go. Good. Okay, it is XP Story Gamers. Since my voice is loud and clear, that's good. What's up? What's happening? I see something got switched over. Hold on. Oh, okay, that's this thing. I can mute this. There we go. Okay. Okay. As long as just hang out here for a little bit before I even get started. I actually have a different screen I'm gonna be using, actually. Yeah, I noticed it said the latest subscriber is Union Gamer. Union Gamer, did you wait? I mean, even if you were just viewing, like, did you subscribe to me before, or was it recent you subscribed to me, or? Yeah, because I see the latest. It said, "Oh, latest subscribers Union Gamer," and I had 239 subscribers. And I have 240, so it sounds like you probably just subscribe. I think you subscribed before, right? Yeah, it looks like audio and stuff is working. Yeah, this episode, yeah, they're at like this one place with a chef, and they're eating. And, the food is good, but a lot of strange things happen when he's eating the food. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, awesome. All right, no problem. Well, I'm glad I'm glad that was taken care of. I'm glad you subscribed in me. Yeah. Because I'm sure because I was positive you might have subscribed before. Because then you would have had like notifications. But if you got it down and now it's taken care of, great. Awesome. Welcome aboard, fellow detective. Yep. And it's got that sound. Kind of got that little clue sound right there, but I was thinking of having a little sound for when people subscribe. Something. Yeah, but I'm over here right now, kind of hanging out. Got my cousin over here. Yeah, just hanging out. Yeah, so I'm gonna switch screens in a moment. One question I'll ask if anyone, I think you've seen, you and Gamer, I think you've seen the JoJo series, right? JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Because I know that'd be, because you have those channels where, like, especially like TV Plus or something like that, where you can see like anime and stuff. So like you got like a lot of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure stuff on. All right, so I can drop into your streams for good conversation. Awesome. Getting secondhand enjoyment watching the games you stream and making fandom jokes and hopes you are laughing. That's good. All right. So you're getting proper notifications. That's good. Yeah. I remember a long time ago, I used to have a buddy that used to try to tell me, like, oh, I haven't been getting notifications for some strange reason. I don't know if it was like a YouTube issue or something. Yeah, which is kind of weird because it's like, you send something out and then it's like, hey, I haven't been getting notification. What's going on? It's like, I've been streaming. I've been doing this stuff. How are you not getting notifications? But I'm sure that was remedied with them as well. But I think it's time for me to go ahead and switch gears. Let me see if I can. I like the new screen. I got some smooth jazz in the background. I saw the first 10 episodes of JoJo, but never finished it. I know there's a lot of similarities of Persona with JoJo characters being standard. Yeah, which is very interesting. As I talk about these characters, eventually, as we talk about these characters, I can then get to the point about like some things with the Persona series that kind of stand out. Maybe familiar with other series, maybe. But check this out. Yeah, just a sec. Okay. Here's for sign over today's mediation. Discussion. Discussion with an open book, that's for sure. Oh, yeah? Nice. Blue Dragon. Interesting. All right, well, before we get to more of like comparison stuff like that, so let me just say what is today's little just chatting discussion segment. First, I'll admit, this is like literally like my first time doing a discussion. kind of stream, like, you know, where you like talking about a subject or topic, in a sense, like, because I'm used to just playing streaming games, just like, oh, and then we talk while streaming games, but like this is like, oh, I want to have a discussion, I want to have a chat. So like, I know it's funny seeing me on the detective, my glowing right eye there. There's a story behind the glowing right eye. Yeah, I was like, what? Yeah, and it's like yeah, it's like I'm an open book. So I have an open book in my hands right there, about ready to discuss everything. So I think the first thing I'm going to mention is so what I'm trying to achieve, or here's what I say, like a pet peeve, or like a maybe like a solid disclaimer or principle here is this: if I start talking about like maybe like a discussion stream, and I want to talk about like a topic, usually I'll try to stick to the topic at hand. So I don't want to try to like veer off. I try to veer off. I'm like, and I try to, it's like, I try not to veer off topic as much. So I want to keep it on topic. You know what I'm saying? So, because, you know, even if people come by and be like, oh, I want to talk to somebody, it's like, no, we're staying to the topic at hand. And so the topic at hand is mostly going to be this, which is the topic about the two characters that you see behind me and the Persona series. And we can also get into the topic of the Persona series itself, especially the ones that I know I've played, which is Persona 3 Reload and Persona 5. I still have to play Persona 5 Royal, so I might even do a discussion stream about Royal and think about comparative contrast between those two games, and just talk about how maybe the theming of both games kind of have like a similarity collision, or they kind of collide, you know, like. Let me see your comments there, buddy. So yeah, I'm going to try to, I want this to be straight on the topic that's being discussed. Don't want to jump to other topics. So yeah, so that's just to let everybody know, like, yeah, if you're here, you know, the topic at hand is going to be the discussion. You know, this ain't a place to go off. Yeah, to go off to other topics. You know what I'm saying? The discussion with a comparison contrast of two characters from the same series should be quite interesting. Yeah, it's sort of compare and contrast, because there is some differences between the two, especially the way their story is carried out in the games. If it looks like the topic is going off the rails, bang your gavel and say order in the court. Order in the court. I think I'll have my cuz come over and slap me in the face so we can get things. It'd be like, oh, okay, wait, we're running off topic. Come on, man. Or like, or bang on the table. Like, okay, yeah. Or bang on that box right there. Like, yeah. There we go. Order in the court. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I like a little smooth jazz music in the background of it. And this discussion is, you know, it might not be for too long, you know. I mean, I only just started now, so maybe we give about like, maybe it might be up to 45 minutes, maybe to an hour, you know. The length I decide, it's not going to be for too long. So, you know, that's not going to be the focus. Especially when, you know, it's going to be past 10. And then it's like, I try to get to 11. It's like, okay, I got to go. Because it's like, because then it's like, I don't want to be up late too long now. Unless I'm hanging with somebody right now. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on a sec. Okay. Um. Yeah, you said if you don't identify. Yeah, I mean, this is about as much of the characteristics I got of him from the vanilla game. I'll definitely find out more, like how he is in the Royal, when I play Royal, of course. All right, so where do I begin? So I think the big thing is like, why am I discussing these two characters? Is just I don't know if like I was mentioning archetypes, character archetypes. I was trying to think of a good art, like the very strong-willed type that you see in like anime or you see in like other games and stuff. It's the one that like they're almost like a delinquent. They like to be a bit careless, clumsy, kind of type characteristic. But they can also be protective. They also can be like caring, but clumsy type. But I don't know what type of archetype that is. You know, like I don't know. You know, like what kind of archetype that would be? I don't know. Like comedic lead, maybe. Well, I know this character is not like the main character protagonist of the story, but I think he's like comedic sidekick, that comedic partner, comedic friend, kind of thing. Yeah. Yo, Haseo, what's up? Yeah. So I think that's the kind of way I would just say like the kind of archetype, especially with like Ryuji, but like they're kind of like almost laid back, like cool cat kind of. You kind of it's funny. It's like when I think of this topic, I think of it like the purpose in talking about this is just like observing the kind of characteristics in the characters so much that you can find something either like relatable or something either relatable, inspiring, or something a little curious. Because it's like you see familiar characters sometimes, or you might recognize like some characteristics that either you might have or you might have experienced around with others. That's why hence the title and that, or hence the thumbnail saying, oh, that time I met a Ryuji and Junpei kind of guy. Because it's like you grow in high school, middle school, you go all that stuff. Is like you meet like people, you might find like a person or someone that has like a similar characteristic of some way. Maybe not like all the characteristics of the character, but like I know it's like, yeah. So you got like some kind of characteristic that just seems to stand out. Lore wise, they both have strong personalities. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they have a strong moral. Yes. Yes. They're also both athletic. Ryuji's a track team runner, or was, and Junpei plays. Yeah, when he played baseball. Exactly. So I say there's some things that can be considered a little like the moral, kind of like the awe-inspiring side of some of them, and then also like the flaws and the various character aspects that stand out. It kind of makes them both same, different in a way, But let's look at the story, because I have a book in my hands in the image. So this is my favorite episode. I have like so Ryuji is someone who if we were to look at it from the beginning for him, before he met the main character, he had a very alcoholic, highly abusive alcoholic father. And it's funny and ironic when I say that because I kind of had a recap of Junpei Iori, and he had a bit of like a I didn't know. I think it was mentioned in the story, but it was a reminder that apparently he had an alcoholic father as well. But yeah, Ryuji had an alcoholic father, and his father would often like beat him and his mom, and then eventually his father left them both. And all it was just him and his mother. He would take care of his mother. Like, you're looking at this, you think, this guy's... Yeah, so the story of Ryuji goes is that him being the one son to try to look after his mother as best as he can, being able to stand strong for his mother, went to the Shuijin school, the Shuijin high school. Did I pronounce it right? Was it Shuijin? I mean, anyone can correct me in the chat. So, like, he joined the track team. He got a really great position. He was a track team runner, very athletic. He was trying to do his best to be as best for his mom, you know, because it's just him and his mom, man. After his father left, the bastard, and he eventually it was when Kamoshida. Now, anyone can remind me exactly what did Kamoshida do again? Was it like he just? I'm trying to remember. Was it because of like he treated him the way he treated him, so to speak, or something like that? Which is prison. Interesting. Kind of ironic, huh? That's the English translation, English form of it. Yeah, Shujin. Yeah, but aka prison. Considering it was a palace for Kamoshida to rule, he became a king of his own palace type scenario. But yeah, he ended up. It was Kamoshida, the way he treated him, and the way he treated the track team. Obviously, that overruling guy, his tyranny. Yeah, he was a volleyball coach that abused his students and drove one of them to attempted. Yes, exactly. And so what ended up happening is, yeah, Shizui, yeah, which was messed up. I was gonna get to that part eventually in the part. I just wanted to remember what he did to Ryuji specifically, but I think it's just him abusing the students along with bringing that abuse to Ryuji. And when you think about what Ryuji went through with his father, you can understand why Ryuji would respond the way he did. So obviously he's gonna want to beat the and then that caused trouble for the track team and everything. And his mother ended up apologizing. He said there was a time he said it kind of broke him because his mother had to apologize on his behalf, thinking like, oh, like I'm sorry, you know, I didn't give you a really good father figure role model in your life and everything. And everything. Yeah, it was just crazy. Yeah, the guy wasn't that. Yeah, so it was unfortunate. But yeah, it was after that moment. Now, it was that moment where you can understand why he would he would take on this role as like a troublemaker kind of student, or he'd be more like he would consider himself like a self-proclaimed troublemaker in a way, because it's like problem student, because a lot of it had to do with what Kamoshida was doing, how he got screwed. It was just like, I know he cares so much for his mom, but it was just like, and he wanted to be better, but it was just like, why should I care with this? Like, you got this guy here doing all this crazy crap, and y'all ain't gonna do, you know, like, yeah, the injustice. I knew that Kamoshida was an injustice and wanted him to pay for it. It's like, how can I be good at this school if you're just gonna be like, you know, this bad and horrible here? And the way the school handled it, man, a lot of injustice was uncovered. For real. Big to the top, for real. So, at its core, you can understand like his trouble dealing with his life having to go through that. And then we come into the picture. We run into him, and you know, there's like almost little misunderstandings, but then we both end up at the castle, and he's confused, we're confused. We're like, what's the school? And it just like left him. And yeah, anyone feel free to share your comments about the characters and everything, your thoughts about the characters as well, while I talk about them as well. I'm just doing a nice little story recap, just a brief story recap, just to kind of reflect on these characters. Just a little brief one. But as you can tell, yeah, he's actually kind-hearted but clumsy. Want to be with get the ladies, you know, that kind of student. But yeah, he ended up, you know, having that problematic student background and everything because of, yeah, the burden, what was happening with him in that case. And we came along, and then at that point, that's when the whole Kamoshida Palace thing was being pursued. He wanted to help, but he obviously understood he had like a bad temper, and it would be rubbed the wrong way for a lot of people because of, you know, his background and what happened and whatnot. There's a lot of stuff that took place. But but that kind of explains like, but it's more of like his delinquent-like behavior was kind of like a coping mechanism because he lost his reputation to Kamoshida's tyranny so much. And due to his inability to become an athlete after the injury he suffered due to Kamoshida's hand. You know. It's just an unfortunate circumstance. But it's done so strongly, not only because it's just like, oh, he got angry, but because of somebody who behaved in a way that you could tell kind of reflects on the abusive behavior that even he could recognize. And then we all recognize as we solve the case of Shujin's school regarding this volleyball coach. It was sickening what he did to that girl. It was sickening. And this was like the big one that stood out to me so much in Persona 5. But yeah. Ryuji was somebody that was like, I would look at, like, when I kind of reflected on a lot of his story, you play the whole game, you see how he says a lot of funny stuff, he like says jokes, but sometimes he says things that people will be like, no, you stop that. And he's like, okay, sorry, you know. He gets a bit clumsy at times. He definitely tries to act a bit cool, tough, you know. But he has the big thing that was mentioned in the chat. Yeah, he has a very strong moral compass. Like, he stands for what he believes is right or wrong, and he's willing to say and do it. He's not willing to change it. He's not like, no. He knows, he sees it's wrong, it's wrong. He's someone who was more like willing to help others, you know. Just in case when I'm talking about Ryuji here. Yeah, he was more willing to help others so much. Especially when he's, you know, being part of the Phantom Thieves. He even, like, I would consider him, like, you know, when you watch him in the story, it's like he has two other aspects of his character. it's not on every case, but sometimes he can be a forgiving person. Like, as much as he had the very conflict with the track team, he ended up like, you could say he ended up having that forgiveness angle where he just allowed them to beat him up to vent their frustrations, especially in the willingness to end the abuse of the track team, especially after what happened with Kamoshida, because there was a lot that needed to be changed after that with the track team and everything. And then it was like, and there was other some instances where he was kind of like that. And then there was like the cases when he was willing to risk his life. You know, you could call that like self-sat. Like he was willing to sacrifice it. Like he was willing to do whatever it takes because he believed in so strong what the Phantom Thieves were doing. Being a Phantom Thief member, he's like, nah, we're going to see this to the end. Even if it comes off where maybe I might die, you know, I might lose my life. Like he's willing to do what it takes to keep the plan going, you know. But there's some occasions where it feels like, you know, I don't know if he's maybe a little cowardly, but there are times when he did kind of, because I remember one instance, where he was running on that ship. I remember he did something like that where I was like, oh, be careful, right? And then there was one plan with Makoto that was being carried out or something where I think he ran across the street or something. I'm trying to remember what he did, and it was like very risky. He'll do like risky stuff at different occasions where Phantom Thieves just to make sure the plan gets carried out as well. Yeah. Would you agree that Ryuji's personality is congruent with the arcana assigned to him? I believe so. I'm trying to remember the meaning of the chariot. I believe it was like, because you know when you think of chariot, it's like charging forward. Yeah, Ryuji is a various. Triple Pain, what's up? How's it going? How you been? Good to see you. Very passionate person. Yeah, Ryuji is a very passionate person. That's the one I was mentioning. Yeah, he nearly sacrificed at the end of Shido's palace. Most people don't know, but yeah, when it comes to when someone holds strong to a belief, or like even when it comes to because the term I'm going to use is the word love. There's, you know, depending on how strong it is, there could be a self-sacrificing element to it. You know, some people call it sacrificial love or anything. The love may not be like, oh, like it could be like you have a romance with romantic love or somebody, but then there's that love for whatever it is you want to hold dear, what you consider more valuable. And what he considers more valuable at the end of the day is through that moral compass he has, what the whole Phantom Thieves are fighting for. Justice, everything. Like, he was willing to self-sacrifice himself for everything for Shido's palace. At that end of the Shido's palace. Like, he was willing to do, he's willing to do it, bro. Very passionate. Journey towards a goal, victory with confidence, compassion, with hints of brash or aggression, but all with good intentions. Yeah. 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 And it better be dang good intentions. Really good intentions too, man. Because that's what it is with Ryuji, my bro. I consider Ryuji like my bro. I kind of thinking like, I met like a few people like in like my high school. Like there was one person I remember. I'm trying to remember like some people who like, you know, some guy friends be like, oh, you know, like into like the ladies. But some of them, they were willing to do right. They, you know, they want to make sure they were doing okay in school. They want to make like, they still was like, hey man, that's not right. That's rude, bro. Like, you know, that kind of person. It's like there are some elements where some characteristics where it kind of reminded me of some old buddies I got to know back in high school. You know, in a way, I kind of met like a Ryuji kind of guy, or even like a Junpei kind of guy growing up. But it was like maybe like just a few characteristics. You know. Of course, the big thing with both Ryuji and Junpei, especially Ryuji, is when you want to talk about flaws, I mean, the kind of thing when it comes to school. Not being able to do your, like, he would be laxing on the tests when it came to the exams. It's like, he just wanted to slack off a lot, so... I was like, I want to do some fun stuff, man. Yo, you're supposed to be studying. All right, I gotta study, man. Come on, man. Like, play first, study later, and then it's like, oh, you fail, and it's like, I told you, man. You're supposed to study. It's okay. It's really funny. I got like the characters like that, man. I like this relaxing jazz music. I'll probably have like a collection of a few jazz beats. I'll probably have them play in the background when I do like a discussion stream like this. It's actually relaxing. Ryuji flaws are academic success or lack thereof, right? And knowing when not to open. He really had I kind of have a lax kind of trait to him or an attitude when it came to opening his mouth. And compromising. What? I'm trying to remember where it was. He didn't really control his mouth well on certain occasions when you don't want to be speaking out on things you shouldn't be saying, especially for the sake of the Phantom Thieves missions. He just, I mean, he's a cool cat, but if it were me and I was running the team, I would not share too much sensitive information with him because I know darn well he's probably going to open his mouth and say something to somebody. I would probably do like a code or something or tell somebody like, hey, say this to him. Say, we're getting some burritos at the shop at 7 p.m. today, like as a code. Saying like, you know, like trying to like throw him off. So like he just says that even though that's not what we're going to do. So to throw somebody off if they're asking around. So like some like kind of red herring or something professionally. So that way you don't spoil much. I miss Persona 5 already as I'm talking about it. Sheesh, Luis. Even had an anime. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's with most of Ryuji's story. It's funny though. I remember the beach scene where we tried to hit on the ladies at the beach and everything. Now, this is where I get into Junpei a little bit more in a moment. Let me just read this comment. There's an expression, how do you get 3 guys to keep a secret? You killed the... That's crazy. He says, how do you get 3 guys to keep a secret? You kill the other 2. I'm like, oh, damn. I think maybe an assassin might probably be carrying out that activity or something. Or a hitman is like, there you go. I mean, there's so much more I can say about Ryuji. I think one thing I might talk about, or what we can also say is like, well, actually, I'll leave this question for people. Maybe you can provide your thoughts. But what do you think connects Ryuji to Captain Kidd and Saiton Tesai, in other words, Sun Wukong? because those are his two personas. The Captain Kid is his main, like the beginning persona, and then when you do a second awakening, it's Sun Wukong. Yeah. Now I haven't played Persona 5 Royale, so if there's some other awakening or something else, I don't know that. So please don't share that. But for the sake of the vanilla game, which is what I played, what do you think ties Captain Kid and Sun Wukong to Ryuji? Because I mean, there are obvious things. I'm sure you all know what it is. I mean, playing Persona. I mean, it'd probably be obvious. I mean, I think I didn't really take the opportunity to. I was going to research Captain Kid further because I want to know the history of Captain Kid, truly. And then, but I remember Journey to the West, Sun Wukong. That one kind of got me think. Okay, I think I might have an idea of why it's Sun Wukong for him, but somewhat of an idea. But like Captain Kid, I don't know the full history of him, so I'm not certain. I mean, if anyone knows the full history of him, like his ties to Ryuji, because that's his first main persona he summons, Captain Kid. Now Junpei Iori, like I said, I did learn he does have an alcoholic father as well. But like he's kind of similar in a way with like, you know, the similar like, yo, what's up? You know, cool cat kind of talk, attitude kind of thing. Sometimes a bit slow. Not well versed in Captain Kid's history. Yeah, I was thinking of looking into it myself. Maybe like I'll probably look into it and come back to it later. But if anyone has an idea, you can let me know. But yeah, I know maybe there's like some element, you know, just out of curiosity. But Sun Wukong, you know, I've learned about of some elements, some references, some things about Sun Wukong that kind of got me thinking, like, okay, maybe there's like a bit of something there, why that is. But Captain Kid, I wasn't sure. I think Captain Kid is based on it is based on a real historical figure. History wasn't my best subject. It was my worst. So I can't really make accurate Ryuji's personality and ambition. No problem. Yeah. I think it's something I might look into later and then come back to it. Maybe like a separate discussion or something later on. Not sure. Dun, 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 dun. Doo-doo. I think I'm looking at the image. I like the images in the background. I think Junpei Iori's story was very interesting. It's like, because we ran into him in the school. He's like, hey, what's up? You new student? What's up? How's it going? Like, you know, like friendly, cool cat kind of student. Easy going to talk to. One of the big things about him that stood out from the beginning, because I was kind of doing a recap with him, and one of the things that I got a good reminder is how in the beginning he came off selfish because he wanted to be in the spotlight, be like known to be the heroic, full frontal warrior kind of guy, as observed in the very beginning, when we were going through the shadows in Tartarus. I remember he called it tartar sauce. He's like, wait, tartar sauce? Because you're Tartarus? I was like, bro, cut that out. But tartar sauce. He's like, Yuka-chan. Doesn't he talk like that? He's like, yo, what's up, man? How's it going, Yuka-chan? That's how he was. Similar, you know, they're like similar, right? Yeah, I think a few similar differences of Ryuji to Junpei. So when you get to that point of conversation, I'm ready to share. Oh yeah. In some way, I don't know about the way they talk, both Junpei and Ryuji. I think it was like kind of like similar, like what's up kind of way. I don't know. I felt It's kind of weird. I think I felt the conversations with Junpei were, I don't know if they were like a little more different than Ryuji. I don't know if anyone felt that way. I mean, I played Persona 3 Reload and Persona 5 the vanilla, so maybe there was some similarity to the way they converse with the main character and everyone else, but there might be subtle differences, maybe just the way they talk, the dialogue was. I mean, I don't know if anybody caught that. But I think one of the things I would say about him is, the selfish thing, the selfish heroic thing was because when you get to the part when we battled the priestess Arcana on the train, he kind of gung-ho's his way forward. When we told him to step back, stop, don't do that. But after that, he was like angry and bitter when we were trying to talk. He's like, oh, you want to say something to me? Man, get it out of my face. Because it's like, and as it got further, he kind of realizing like he just felt like he wanted to be the hero, wanted to be at the front, at the top, like almost jealous of my leadership kind of thing, like, you know, being in the front. You know what I'm saying? And this is how he was in like in the beginning when it got to that mission point with that shadow and a little after. But eventually he kind of stopped it a bit. But yeah, he was kind of acting like that. Of course, he would kind of improve his character a little bit more. But like, yeah, he was kind of acting like that. And then I remember before the Chidori thing, yeah. And then he would just be, he would be like Ryuji, hitting on trying to get, you know, be talking about the lady. Oh, look at these cute girls in school. Look at that. You know, he'd be like that. Even the beach scene, he was trying to rate he was talking about, I think he was trying to rate the birthday suits of the girls. When it got to Mitsuru, I literally did this. When it got to Mitsuru, I literally fell back in my seat like I fainted. I did that on I actually thought, I mean, all the other girls were cute in their bikinis, but when it got to Mitsuru, I was like, fall back like I had a nosebleed. Like, she was that beautiful and gorgeous. I was like, wow. And then, that's why she became my love interest in the game. So she became my romantic social link at the end of the game. Well, they were both the first person to reach out and strike up a conversation and become your first social link, whether it's in Reload. And that's one of the big similarities is, yeah, they both became that first social link homie. That's what I would call it. The first social link homie and bestie kind of. That's how it was with them. And then Junpei, what else about Junpei? I'm trying to think of, yeah, you could share like some other similarities and differences. I know definitely the strike up the conversation thing in the beginning. Their dialogue was in some way similar when you interact with them in each of the game, though. I mean, there might have been slight differences maybe, but I think there was like that similar vibe, kind of in the way they talk. You know what I mean? It's like when I talked to Junpei, it felt like I was talking to Ryuji once again. And if I were to play Persona 5 and I was talking to Ryuji, it felt like I probably was talking to Junpei. So I'm like, Junpei Ryuji, who am I talking to? Like, I'm talking to somebody here. Who is this? You want to watch something else? Or I'm grinding everything. You're a little tired. Yeah, so now here's a major difference. The relationship status. Well, sort of, but when you look at what happened with Junpei versus Ryuji, Junpei got to have a love interest. And that was Chidori later. And knowing the full story of what happened with Chidori, you know, he just saw her on the bench. She was sketching, and he just decided, he just tried a conversation with her. I also feel like I'm kind of like Junpei and Ryuji in a little bit when I want to strike conversations with people. Sometimes random. I think I just do that maybe because either I just want to befriend somebody or just like, you know, kind of get to know some people, you know. So I kind of feel that energy, you know what I mean? Junpei and Ryuji are both physical specialists, so that's a point of similarity. Yeah, they're both physical specialists. They share while one of their differences is the difference is their arcana. Yeah, he's magician, right? And then Ryuji is chariot. Big difference. Big difference of arcanas. My favorite theurgy with his is the second one because of the Chidori arc. You know, when you heal, you see like her, like a shadow. You see like a phase of her, image of her, and he gets healed. Yeah, I mean, with what happened to her and that moment when she confessed her love for him before she eventually went away, like, it just, it really stirred up my heart just seeing it because it's like Junpei has like that love interest thing development in his life in the game, whereas Ryuji, it just doesn't happen. Yeah, you're right. Ryuji tend to get a love interest. Yeah, it got shot down like a missile, but Junpei got a girl, and we see some character growth and development. Exactly. And just a little update. I will get the. I haven't got around to, but eventually I will do the Answer DLC sometime. Just not right at the moment, but I will get to it, and you all get to see me stream it. Just to get a heads up on that. But yeah, man, with Junpei Iori, he had that love interest development for his character and for his life in the story, but Ryuji didn't. He just got shot down, and so he just still ended up single. You know, he still ended up just single, and still ended up with no luck with the lady, nothing. At least what I've seen with the vanilla, and I did play Persona Strikers a long time ago. Still no relationship. Still nothing. He still don't got it good with the lady right at the moment. So I think in Strikers. Yeah, I played Strikers. Yeah, he still didn't. I mean, he still was the same Ryuji kind of guy. You know. One more compass about Ryuji I didn't really get to mention. I think it was kind of like along the lines where he's done this where like he says like he wants to make sure that things are of integrity and consistency. Like he'll say things like I think I was trying to remember which mission or quest where he said this. He said something along the lines of like, "Hey, if I'm gonna be it was something about like he was telling the Phantom Thieves like, hey, if we do this, we're gonna be exactly like those we're against or something. It was some I don't remember which one of the palace missions he said something like that. It's a lot of dialogue I have to go back and review, you know. It was something along it was one of the palace quests where he actually did say something like that. But yeah, Ryuji is doomed to remain in the friend zone. my poor homie. But Junpei Iori, he got it made. Yeah, Junpei Iori was amazing. I mean, in a sense that the relationship aspect of it. I'm just kidding. They're both awesome, funny. But yeah, like that one to me was the big marker for Junpei Iori's story, you know. And then learning about he was a baseball player and everything, and he could be a little brash as well compared to Ryuji. You know, there's like some of those similar personality traits with like that type of character. Yeah, but the thing I admire most is that the standing on what is the right thing to do, what is right and wrong. That stance is what stood out for me with Ryuji, despite some of the flaws. and he does want to be better. And then you have Junpei, who, you know, he kind of gets better himself. He he even is honest about his flaw down the road, and he starts, you know, working to get better as well. I like this, like the idea. He's like, they want to get better, you know. It just, you know, you know, it's like it takes time, you know, in developing that character. But yeah, I was cheering for Junpei when he finally got to be with when Chidori, and then when Chidori was revived and her memory was still a bit gone. But I like what she said to Mitsuru, because Mitsuru was like, and if you fight, because she talked about, she saw like someone like that would be of her love interest or so at the end of like this tunnel or something like that. And she asked her, like, if you were to find this person, and she said, if I were to find this person, well, it would just not be your business. That's what she said. That means when she finds out what she decides to do, it was like, oh, okay. But Junpei was crying. Everybody, even the girls outside, that they were outside the door, were crying too, because she came back. But it's just now, it's just her memory has to come back. That's it. Yeah, because the moment when it like she died, you were thinking no, and then when they find out she got revived because of the plants that she once handled or touched or something. There's something with her persona and these plants. It was explained, and then she came back. Yeah, Junpei was pretty cool, man. Yeah, I just like the Chidori arc with Junpei. That's the part I really love so much about his storyline. It's like, you know, he's cool cat and on, and it was like, okay. It was like, all right. Kind of reminded me of Ryuji, but when it got to that one arc of the story, I was like, wow. That stood out to me about his. And then Ryuji's was the whole thing with Kamoshida, and then just watching him be that best friend that would stand for what the Phantom Thieves stand for, and everything. That also stood out with him. Kind of show, like, when you've come to understand what is right or wrong, and you stand by, you hold dear to it, that you're strong in that belief. You stand by it, man. And that's what he did. That's what Ryuji did, man. Yeah, Chidori transferred her life force into the... thank you. Yeah, she transferred her life force into a ray of flowers with her persona ability, and when her life was lost, the energy given to flowers was returned to her. That was the shock, and I'm glad she came back. I was like, yeah, my boy Iori, yeah, let's go. Let's go. I was so happy when that happened. I mean, I'm not here to like argue or try to say like, oh yeah, here's the best, like here's what makes a story good or bad. I mean, you could have good change-ups in story. I just like say like when it comes to like some good story elements, when you got like, you do it well, you get that traction going. So like the whole Kamoshida thing, especially with surrounding Ryuji and everything else, and then seeing Ryuji's moral compass in action combined made me enjoy seeing not just him, the other characters, but also seeing him in action as well, being who he was. I was like, okay, this is a cool buddy, man. And then like for Junpei, it was like seeing a bit of his character and stuff, the little conflict having, seeing he was kind of cool. And then when the Chidori arc came in, it was just like, wow. What a great change of character and pace, and then really get the ball rolling for him. I was rooting for him, man. Junpei gets the girl in a happily ever after ending, while Ryuji will most likely pursue one night stands where he has to be paid by the hour. Oh my gosh. Don't do that to my poor Ryuji now. That ain't gonna be his life. Come on now. Dun, dun, dun. The reason why I have jazz music, because most of Persona's, especially most of Persona 5's music is pretty jazzy, kind of. It's mixed. I've seen it's like a little mixed genre, but there's a bit of jazziness to the songs. Most of the songs like a bit of a jazz kind of feel to it. So that's why I have like a jazzy music background here. Thought it'd be a good stand for the occasion. Some music has been described as more of acid jazz. Okay, I think that's the term I was thinking I was hearing. Acid jazz. So here's a question for y'all. What do y'all dislike about the characters you see behind me? I think that's the first question. Like, what do y'all dislike about the characters behind me? And then I think it's, if I have a second question, be like, any familiar characters or archetypes, or like what kind of archetype you would probably describe? You would say they kind of describe more as, and then any other familiar characters that these two remind you of in other media, like in other anime and stuff. Something like that. Do 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 do. Because I'm just thinking there's like a lot of anime, man. I be watching it, and it's like just thinking like all the different characters out there. I mean, you got like the clumsy. I mean, the obviously clumsy but justice-filled types, obviously. But it's just trying to remember like what anime. I don't know. I don't know if Kuwabara from. Would Kuwabara from hold up. Would Kuwabara from what's the anime series called? Yu Yu Hakusho. Yeah, I don't know, would Kuwabara be that? I think he is, 'cause I think he would be that kind of archetype. I mean, he was like, that tough game. He was a bit of tough game, but he still had like a soft, kind side to him. I think Kuwabara, I think he in some way fits that archetype. I think he does. Kuwabara from Yu Yu Hakusho, man. I like Ryuji both as a character and as a party member. His persona and his are a good match for him, and has a magnetic personality with comic relief and others. Yes. Very comic relief. Yeah, I think Kuwabara, is probably one example of that archetype that I think relates to Ryuji or Junpei or both. I miss Yu Yu Hakusho. That was like one of my old 90s anime. I was an old anime I watched a lot of Yu Yu Hakusho. I used to watch it on TV. I don't know if anybody's seen Yu Yu Hakusho. What other characters do these guys remind me of? So I'm thinking Kuwabara. I'm not sure what other. There's a lot of anime. I mean, I don't have to think too many anime. I think that's one. I mean, I'm trying to think of maybe like one more. I'll tell you one character that I witnessed. I think my buddy Haseo we witnessed it as well. A character that was kind of the opposite end of what these two characters are, but I think he's the opposite of these characters, but he has some traits or some things mentioned of him that would have been similar to either of these two. Mostly Ryuji, I would say, because of the moral compass thing. And his name is Nwangi. Now, I was playing, I've been streaming Utawara Mono, which is a game series and also an anime. It's like visual novel RPG, but it's also RPG type gameplay. In that game, now I've only gotten very far, so to make sure there's no spoiling, if anyone knows the game or knows the story, I'm at a point where I witnessed him, what sounds like he might have been axed, killed, but I heard the sounds, but, you know, my guess is he probably was killed, or maybe he was saved at that last second. I don't know. But that's where I was at. But I'm not further from there yet. So, but that's where I'm at. So I don't know what happens after that. So, yeah, I don't want to know. Oh, no, he survived. I don't want to know that. Just a warning. I'll find out when I play further in the game. But, he was like a very prideful, spoiled brat, trying to get this one girl who lived in this village named Eruru to be his wife. But he was very like prideful about it. He was very cocky. But he was still clumsy. He was clumsy with his words, clumsy with his actions. Tough guy. And then eventually, we fought him and we captured him, and then we let Eruru make the decision about his fate, whether or not what to do with him. The girl that he fall in love with. What ended up happening? Well, she made a decision. Before she slapped him and told him exactly what he wasn't listening on, because he still didn't get it. And one of the things she said to him, she said, the thing I liked about you was when you were clumsy, but kind. And when I heard that, the first thought that came to mind was, so he would have been a Ryuji. Or maybe Junpei. And I'm serious when I say that, because of how he was. And I was like, if he was on the good guy side, on the right moral compass, the right direction, the right understanding of right and wrong, he would have been another Ryuji or Junpei. And that's what also reminded me of these characters. That's why I'm talking about them today. Yeah, he would have been another Ryuji, Junpei archetype. Unfortunately, he wasn't. Unfortunately. But that was his fault. He made the wrong decisions. He became too prideful and let that get to his head. And now what appears to be, it sounds like he's dead. Kind of a little rhyme there, but... Which Utoromono game are you playing? Because there's three that I know of. I personally have only played Monochrome Mobius, Rights, and Wrongs Forgotten. So the one I'm playing is Prelude to the Fallen. I think that's the very, very first one, I believe. Prelude to the Fallen. So that's the one I'm playing. Da-da, da-da-da, da-da, da-da. Yeah, some reason the thing is... Oh, and don't forget, if you're enjoying the live stream so far, hit that like button. Definitely helps support the channel. Thank you. And if you find some of these discussion streams and some of the gaming streams very nice, interesting to what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and hit the subscribe if you want to see more of my little discussion streams and gaming streams that I like to do. Well, this is my first discussion stream in a while, so got something here. Oh, somebody noticed the word archetype is pronounced. So is it pronounced archetype? Because I think I might have actually said it archetype. I thought I said archetype. I'm certain I said archetype or archetype. So is it archetype or archetype or archetype? I see IH, so I'm thinking archetype. Not archetype, archetype. I don't think I said archetype though. Unless I did, then that was not the actual statement. No, it's actually pronounced archetype. Yeah, so I think it's archid. Yeah, so it's archetype. Sure thing, Union Gamer. 4 syllables there. That was funny story. I remember somebody. Well, I'll tell about this story later. Yeah, archetype. Okay, so was I saying archetype or arc? Did I say archetype or did I say archetype? Because if I say archetype, sometimes you could say it fast. It might not sound like I'm saying archetype. So if I say archetype, or if I say archetype, I might say it so fast you might even think I'm not saying 3 syllables. So it sounds like I'm saying 2. Which means if I do that, good, because I'm gonna annoy the heck out of you. Okay, but I'm just playing. Yeah, archetype. Yeah. Yeah, Nuwange. And it's fortunate for him. I see what time. Oh, now, okay. It's almost getting there. Perfect. It's getting to the time in which I'll. You trying to get me to say those words there, buddy? Yeah. Oh, I get. Yeah, yeah. You trying to. Yeah. Order in the court. Order in the court. You don't get to. Well, you don't get to do that. I do. This is my court. I get to exercise order. You don't get to do that. Sorry. Well, I mean, the only thing that the main topic of discussion was these 2 characters, and then I talked about what anime these characters represent, or like what anime has similar characters. And then we were talking about Ramono, and then you brought up the correction of archetype, and then I was trying to say it right, and then I was being funny about that. So I wasn't necessarily veering too far off a discussion. I was going to get back because mainly we're still talking about the same thing. We're just now trying to correct on the word archetype. So it's not necessarily a veering off of the main discussion. If it was veering off the main discussion, it would have been where instead of talking about archetypes, then I would have said, talk about some other stuff that had nothing to do with these characters at all. So let's get back to so Nuwangi would have been in one of these 2 characters. But I think those are the 2. Those are like some of the characters I think of when I think of these 2 characters. Yeah. So technically it didn't really veer too off from discussion. But let's see what I can say about anything else. I'm not sure what else to say about these 2 characters. Other than I said most stuff. But what I will say is this. Yeah, I did like the Persona series, and I mean, there's more characters I could talk about when I get the chance, but these are the 2 I just brought up. But I just like these 2 because it's like it's good to have like you have like those cool buddies, or like, you know, when you have like that best friend, like that person that's gonna have your back. And they're always gonna have issues or challenges, but when they have your back, or you have their, and you guys trust each other, and you're willing to stand on your ground, on your goal, your vision, whatever it is, it's like, you know, you have that loyalty there. That's the thing I like about Ryuji the most, is that loyalty. In spite of, you know, like some flaws that he might have had. And then Junpei, he was willing to stand as well with us. There was one quote I got from Ryuji. It was kind of something along the lines of where he said something like this: I get it now. We're doing this to make sure people don't gotta go through the same crap we did. It doesn't matter if they think we're just or not. We gotta do what we believe in. Heh. And it's not like people think of much of me anyways. I'm gonna dash through this the only way I know how. Words from Ryuji. That's typical Ryuji right there. Now, who in P4 would you compare Ryuji and Junpei to? I'm torn between two possibilities and was curious what your pick would have been. Well, for one thing, if you recall, I haven't played P4 yet. I've seen some of the anime. I played Persona 4 Arena, so I kind of got some characters I might know a bit, but I don't know them all too well. So I think that's something that I can't answer unless I go through Persona 4 first, remember? I haven't fully played that game yet. Let alone Persona 4 Golden. But I have heard of, in Persona 4 Arena and some of the anime, I have heard of some of the characters. Wait a minute. Would the big guy with the chair count? Or that he was in Persona 4 Arena, he used a chair. Would the big tough guy count? Or would it be the MC's closest buddy, the one with the brown hair? I just try to remember their names. Sanjana says, hi, what's up? How's it going? Yeah, I'm just trying to remember the name of the two characters in Persona 4. Was it, because that big guy who kind of walked around looked like he's tough. And then you have the one guy, I think he wears headphones, but he has like brown hair. I'm just trying to remember his name. Yeah, Kanji Tatsumi. I think that's somebody that I think could relate to not like, I wouldn't say like exact. I would say to be exact, but like maybe some kind of characteristic. I don't know. I would have to go through Persona 4 and then see like about that character for myself. Yusuke is the other guy. Yes, Yusuke. I don't know if he's like a Ryuji or Junpei kind of character. I don't know about that. The other guy with brown hair was Yosuke. Is it Yusuke or Yosuke? And he was the other candidate I was comparing to Junpei Ryuji. Ah, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to remember if is it Yusuke or is it Yosuke? Is it a U there or is it an O? Anyway, when you've completed P4, let's have a follow-up discussion straight where we compare and contrast. Well, here's what I'm gonna do, because I'm not gonna, because I don't think I'm gonna do it like, oh, now let me include these characters compared to Ryuji and Junpei. Like, this is today Ryuji Junpei, but like Depending on what I decide for next discussion streams, I mean, it's not just Persona I'm going to be doing. It'll be other topics of other games, but that I'll be doing. But if I go through Persona 4, maybe I might decide if I might want to do some comparison of characters, maybe. But I'll write this down as probably one particular idea. Maybe I can do like a comparison of characters from across the series itself, from the games, the ones that I've played, and then see like, thoughts about the characters and comparison and contrast in some ways. That'll be something I could probably do, but I'll think it over once I get through Persona 4. Da, 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 da. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it looks like I made it to the hour and a half mark. Nice. This is perfect. This is good. So that, because I've said I was going to try to get to at least an hour, maybe an hour to an hour and a half, and then wrap up. So I'm not sure what else I want to say about these two characters, other than I do kind of have things I like about them and stuff. Things where I wish, maybe they could have improved more on, especially like the school stuff. I was kind of like that kid. I always want to make sure I pass my classes growing up, I was kind of like, like a cool, laid back kind of guy myself. So I can relate to some of these two characters, in a way, being, especially Ryuji being a laid back, but I would still be careful and still want to make sure I'm passing my classes, I mean, don't want to upset my parents, especially my mom, if you put me in school, don't want me to be, going the wrong direction, like, making sure I'm raised well and everything, Oh, who is it? Oh, you got it? Oh, Nathan. Hey, what's up, bro? Just a sec. Yeah, I got more folks over. Yeah, so I think these characters. Oh, you still got to get more stuff. Oh, yeah, you still got to get more stuff. Yeah, so I think like I got some folks over, so that's why if you hear a little background noise. I think like I think I can share so much. So I might consider Kanji. Kanji looked very interesting. I think I might consider looking into him once I play Persona 4. You know who else is an interesting character I might want to look at? Officer Girl. Yeah, Persona 4's got some characters I could look at once I play through it. And even Teddy. I like playing Teddy in Persona 4 Arena. So, I mean, it got me interested and curious about these characters. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much it for tonight. I think the main thing is just I just like I like some good character development here and there and stuff. And then I think it's like when I like these characters, I think it's just seeing a character like that. Naoto, that's her name. But seeing characters like this is like, I think some inspirational aspect is the idea of being, being able to stand firm in what you believe in is one of the things. Although it's making sure it's not a kind of belief that's going to lead to something of evil or wrong, but it's one that's going to lead to good, justice, like lead to the right, what's right, And that's what I like about Ryuji, and is that aspect of him, and also the desire to want to be better and do right. You know what I mean? Even though he often kind of has some flaws when it comes to running his mouth in some occasions, saying the wrong thing at the wrong time, and then the troublemaker attitude stuff. Like, he's still got to work on that, but he does his best. He really cares about his mom, and he does his best. Oh, I just saw he carried a guy picked up a hand. Yeah, it's a serial killer. So, yeah. And then Junpei, the will to be your best, especially I like having that kind of best friend thing. I've had some best friends in my life. I also like being a best friend myself, I like having to befriend a lot of people, but I also careful when I do so, but also like when it's that friendship that locks in. It's like, I got you, bro. That type of friendship. I like that. It's like, I got you, man. Got your back. And then, of course, like, there's also, for me, is learning to be wise. So it's like, these guys, some of them can be a bit goofy and stuff, but it's like, just that will to grow and develop is just one of the things I like about some aspects here with these characters, but it just depends on what they're growing. You got a friend in me, right? I like that. I like having those friendships, man. All right. Well, I don't know if anybody else want to add a little more to this discussion, if you like, a little bit about these two, but I think I've shared a lot already. There's so much. I've kind of looking into the full story with these two characters. It's like, in the end, you could see, I haven't played the other Persona, the one that's on the Xbox, or I think they have it on PlayStation 2. It's the one where they're like small sized. It's tactical RPG and it's small and they're small sized. I forgot what it's called. But yeah, they're kind of small. They're kind of small looking with big head. I still gotta play that one. Get that and play it. Still here. So yeah, I think I'm good. So I think that's about it. I think that's about all I can share. Yeah. Hey, Dad. So yeah. Overall, they're both well-written characters with growth and development. They have they have many similarities and differences. I think it's just the experience of the game can give you that. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else to be had or shared here, or people shared enough, you're good. We're good to go. Because I got to get going anyway. Yeah, Persona 5 Tactica is the one you're talking about. And that was a lot of fun in these days. It's only $20, which is a steal. Yeah, I still got to play that. All right, well, I think I'm good now. I think I pretty much said enough. Since it sounds like I think that's pretty much all there is, and if anybody else you got to, then we're good. So yeah. So all I will say is I'll put this to rest and we'll close the book, even though I'm not technically closing the book during this talk, but literally. But you can see the two characters in the back, but yeah. Look forward to seeing and experiencing some more of Persona stuff in the weeks to come. But yeah, you guys have a nice, wonderful night. Hope y'all, you can share your feedback. Let me know what y'all think. I think this was the nicest little discussion that I was having. I was just like recapping, just talking about these characters, how they were throughout the story, their traits, reflection, what it meant for me, what it could mean for anybody else. I like to go deeper meaning when I say this. When it comes to the type of characters these guys are, it's always good to have like when you know you have the type of friend that's very trustworthy and it's willing to have your back and stand firm and in joint with your vision, like a partner, that's a cool friend to have. Not many people have that type of friend, but you have that friend, that you got somebody on your back. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of like to be that type of friend as well. And then, of course, it's also like being that, recognizing when it's like you just have like a good attitude to life, and then also like the willingness and desire to do what's right and do better. You meet a lot of people that they've been through down in the dumps, but there are people who are fighting to do what's right and still do better. And I like that. I like the spirit of that. That's very motivational. I've heard of lives like that where people that are like that, and they're very, very motivational in how they rose out of the trouble that they've been through. I love inspiring stories like that too. I had to get the last laugh in for the quarter adjourn. Ha, ha, very, very funny. Now give me that hammer. It's like Toy Story when Woody's hat. He was like, come out of the chest, like, has anyone seen my hat? And then the shark pops up. He's like, hi. Well, he has Woody's hat on. He's like, hey, I'm Woody. Howdy, howdy, howdy. And Woody's like, aha, aha, give me that. That's how I am right now. So, okay then. Well, ain't nothing else to say. So I'm gonna end right now because it's already like 1:47. So yeah, I'm gonna end right now. So any of y'all here, if you've seen the discussion, maybe you enjoyed a little talk, a little sharing of stuff and everything about what we just discussed here with these characters and everything. Just putting the rest of the time I've met like a Ryuji, Junpei kind of guy. The title doesn't mean I literally met a Junpei Ryuji. Objection, Your Honor. Relevance. Court order stuff. All right then, folks. God bless you. Thank you for dropping by the stream. Hit the like button and then subscribe if you want to hear some more of these discussions. I'll see more of these kind of contents. I mean, this is the present image where I have myself with a book in hand right there, but I might change it a little bit more down the road. Maybe even make it more reactive to when I talk. That's another trick I can learn. There's videos that teaches on how to do that. So we'll see, or even I can even do like a slideshow type thing. There's just different ways I can go about it, but I'll think it over. But overall, I think this is good. If y'all like this, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of content and some of my other gaming streams. I mostly stream RPGs, JRPGs, all those types. Even some action adventures. Alright, folks. Y'all take care. Have a good night. See you, Union Gamer, Hot Sale. See everybody else that dropped by. Peace out. Enjoy. If you play Persona, yep. Just much love for the Persona games. And every other games out there that's like RPG that we all love and enjoy. Peace out, folks. Wrapping up this story. All right, then. Bye-bye.